Now on News 5 today, a man rushed to the hospital after being shot at an intersection littered with bullet casings. How police are trying to find the suspect and the latest on the victim's condition.
And Fairfield fire crews continuing to knock down stubborn hot spots 16 hours after fire ripped through this apartment complex.
Also honoring the memory of Lauryn Hill, we look back at her legacy ahead of her induction into the Ohio Basketball Hall of Fame.
And a pretty shot of the fog and the Big Mac Bridge along the Ohio River this morning. The fog is not widespread. It's right along the river valleys here this morning. It's going to feel summer-like later on today. We'll talk about it next on News 5 Today.
This is WLWT News 5 Today, leading the way.
Good morning to you. I'm Alexis Rogers here, rocking and rolling.
We are.
With meteorologist Steve Norris. My goodness, this morning is going by fast, which means that your Saturday might feel like it's going by a little fast, and maybe the humidity will go by fast too.
I wish it would. You know, actually, it'll be kind of a two-day event. I think by Monday, Tuesday, yeah, it'll be out of here. But boy, it is going to be muggy today. Take a look at the conditions we expect out there. We'll talk all about it in just a few minutes. Alexis.
Steve, thank you. Firefighters spent the night watching an apartment building in Fairfield that was destroyed by a fire. Those flames ripped through 18 units, displacing dozens of people. Investigators tell us that this was caused by unattended food. That's where we find WLWT News 5's Richard Childs this morning at the Villages of Wildwood Apartments with the latest.
WLWT News 5.
Richard, thank you. New on WLWT, 2 people are without a home this morning after a late night fire over in North Fairmount. That call came in around 11:30 for a fire on the front porch of a house on Baltimore Avenue near Brinkmeyer Avenue. When crews arrived, that fire spread to the house. Everyone did make it out safely, and the fire was put out quickly. Officials tell us that the grill was left unattended outside, and that's what caused the fire. Damage is estimated at about $15,000. Those homeowners are now staying with family. Also new on WLWT, police are searching for a suspect after a late night shooting over in Mount Auburn. It happened at the intersection of Reading Road and McGregor Avenue right at 11 o'clock last night. Officials tell us that a 29-year-old man was shot in the hip. He was then taken over to UC Medical Center. His condition has still not been released. We're still working to try to get more information on that. Police found a number of shell casings and are checking surveillance cameras in the area. Making sure the legacy of Indiana native Lauryn Hill lives on. Her story has touched so many, and today the former Mount St. Joseph University freshman will be posthumously inducted into the Ohio Basketball Hall of Fame. In 2014, Lauryn gained national attention when she was determined to play with her new Mount St. Joe teammates, despite having an inoperable brain tumor that limited her activity. The NCAA agreed to move up the team's season opener so that Lauryn could play. Lauryn Hill also helped raise more than $2.5 million for cancer research. She passed away in April of 2015 at just 19 years old. The induction ceremony will be tonight in Columbus. This morning, thousands of people will take steps for Autism Speaks over at Coney Island, and what a day to do it. Their goal is to raise more than $226,000 for people living with autism. Registration will begin at 8:30 this morning. Opening ceremonies will begin at 10, and the 1-mile sensory-friendly walk will take off at 10:15. Families are invited to stay for an after party and to go on some rides from 11 until 1. People will also be walking in Mason to shine a light on NF. It's a genetic disorder that causes tumors to grow on nerves throughout your body. Today's walk is an effort to raise awareness and money for the Children's Tumor Foundation. The walk will take off from the Corwin-Nixon Park right behind Mason High School at 10:30 this morning. Check-in begins at 9, and there will also be lunch, family activities, and raffle prizes out there. The Cincinnati Reds fell to the Los Angeles Dodgers at home. This was a tough game. How the Dodgers kept the Reds from getting a single run. But first, a federal appeals court rules against President Trump on ending DACA. We're going to Washington for what this means as the president tries to overhaul the immigration system.
Well, we could see a pop-up shower of thunderstorms.
An update this morning on the immigration battle in Washington. A federal appeals court just struck a blow the Trump administration's plans. WLWT News 5's Matt Pritchard is live in our Washington News Bureau with the details. Matt, what was the ruling?
Well, Alexis, a 3-judge panel ruled 2-1 that the Trump administration
It is hot. It is steamy out there. It is Saturday, so that's the thankful part. So you can go ahead and have a good time today.
Yeah.
But you need to pack maybe your umbrella, especially towards the latter half of the afternoon.
Yeah, I think anytime, maybe 2, 3 o'clock, something like that, up until the evening hours, we have a chance for a shower or storm. And also pack the sunscreen, right? We forget to say that this time of year.
I got such bad sunburn the other day. Like, y'all, it's real. I'm still peeling.
It happens in very short period of time. I got it on my face this week, no matter how hard I try.
It's okay.
Oh,
it's okay,
just
Steve.
A little touch up there. All right, thank you. 64 degrees, our low temperature this morning and of the week. Alexis.
Steve, thank you. It was a tough day yesterday for the Cincinnati Reds as they fell to the Los Angeles Dodgers in a shutout game. WLWT News 5's George Vogel has more in this morning's sports.
Just when you start the sports for now, we'll have more coming up in just a bit.
Well, one of our favorite weekends is coming up, the Western and Southern Open, and your kids have the chance this weekend to earn a spot on the court with their favorite tennis players. How exciting is that, right? Ball Kids tryouts for the Western and Southern Open kick off this morning at 9 o'clock. So you have, about a couple hours to get it together. They will run it until noon. The tryouts will take place at the Lindner Family Tennis Center in Mason, and they will continue tomorrow from 9 to noon. The Western and Southern Open runs from August 10th to the 18th. The wait is almost over for food lovers out there. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. What you can expect at next weekend's Taste of Cincinnati. Time right now, 7:19. It's still a little foggy out there, but we can see more of the bridge than we could like 30 minutes ago. So, hey, that might be pretty telling for the rest of the day. We'll have exactly what you can expect and do for fun out there coming up on WLWT News 5 today. Hi there and welcome back. We are less than a week away from the Taste of Cincinnati, the nation's longest running free culinary arts festival, and that means chowing down on some of the best food in the Queen City. And joining me this morning is Rich Wahlberg. Rich, you know how excited I am about this. We talked about this. I love food.
Well, you mentioned that. And if you are a human and you like food, this is the festival for you. Taste of Cincinnati next weekend on 5th Street downtown. You
know, I was telling you that next weekend I'm having a wedding shower. My family will be here. Yeah. So I think we're definitely going to take them to this because it's free and all the food is pretty reasonably priced.
Yeah, everything's between $2 and $6. You get a pretty healthy sized portion at each place that you go. If you just want to come and walk around and enjoy.
You know what I think is so funny is that you all love us enough to allow us to be fed, but then you allow us to run it off. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. On Sunday morning, this is a way to kind of, you can run first and then feel good about all the food that you're eating at Taste of Cincinnati.
Good plan, Rich.
Yeah, the Eat and Run 5K is Sunday morning on May 26th. 10 a.m. That starts at Sentinel and Culvert. You can sign up right now at tasteofcincinnati.com. And it's a 5K run, and there's food along the route. So there'll be little bite-sized samples from some of our better restaurants and food trucks that you can try. So it literally is eat and run.
You know what? I really appreciated you trying to encourage me to eat healthy because there are healthy options out there. I love the term vibrant veggies. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Go Vibrant has been a partner of Taste of Cincinnati for years. And the restaurants now are getting even more and more, every year, more excited about showcasing their Go Vibrant items, so it's a healthy option.
Music, food, even a little exercise. It sounds like a great time to me.
Yeah, and this year we're really happy to partner with the Cincinnati Music Accelerator. Kick Lee runs that, and he's helping us book some of the acts on some of the stages throughout the weekend. Awesome. So very excited about that too.
A very diverse array of fun. Thank you, Rich. You know, we're excited about this, and the Taste of Cincinnati will be held on 5th Street in downtown Cincinnati, May 25th through the 27th. You can still sign up for the Eat and Run 5K by going to tasteofcincinnati.com. There are still so many more things ahead on WLWT, including taking the church to the streets, the service project that will have thousands making a difference for greater Cincinnati.
Well, also,
it was devastating. It's like going to a professional athlete and say, listen, you're done.
Now on News 5 today, a dream job as a police officer cut short after being hit by a car. The message a former cop is sending to drivers.
And fire still smoldering at a Fairfield apartment complex 16 hours after flames ripped through this community.
And a gorgeous picture from CityCam 5, located high atop the Crew Tower. Today, it's going to be kind of a mix of heat and humidity. I call it soup, right? Kind of a sweltering soup out there today. Your forecast next on News 5 Today.
This is WLWT News 5 Today, leading the way.
Hi there and good morning to you. I'm Alexis Rogers here with meteorologist Steve Norris. Steve, you said soup and I immediately got very, very hot. Like I just started to sweat.
You started to melt.
I'm going to the zoo later on today for Rosemary's Babies, and I think that it's going to be extremely hot at the zoo.
Yeah, it is mid 80s, 86 degrees. That's what, 10, 12 degrees above average for this time of the year, and it's going to be very humid as well. I know, bad hair day, right? And we had some fog out.
News 5.
A police officer is being forced to retire early after being hit by a car on the job. Now Mike Price is sharing his story with us and hopes to send a strong message to drivers to pay extra close attention to first responders on the road. He talked exclusively with WLWT News 5's Jatera McGee.
It's hard to believe.
A very important message, and that was Jatera McGee reporting. The driver who hit Price wasn't criminally charged. She was just ticketed, but Price says that a mistake is a mistake and left it at that. Investigators confirmed that the driver who hit and killed a Mason family was legally drunk. The crash happened on St. Patrick's Day weekend on I-75 south of Dayton. Police tell us that Abby Michaels was driving the wrong way when she hit Timmy, Karen, and Tessa Thompson. According to the test results, police say that Michaels' blood alcohol content was over the legal limit. Police sent this and other evidence to the prosecutor's office to decide on her charges. Ohio's state's new investigative report confirms that victims have been saying about former team doctor Richard Strauss for years has been true. It says that university staff members knew and did nothing about his serial sexual abuse. One man who complained about Strauss in 1995 says that the school dismissed him, and the medical doctor of the health center where the abuse happened told him it was the first complaint about Strauss.
That doctor that wrote that letter to me and said that it had never happened before basically wrote this documentation up that said it did happen before. So, I mean, you lied to me. You lied to me straight in my face, and that just makes me so upset.
Investigators say that Strauss abused at least 177 male students. The allegations span nearly all 20 years since Strauss came to the campus in 1978. Thousands of volunteers from Crossroads Church will take their message of good works to the streets. The Cincinnati megachurch has canceled weekend services for their Go Local community outreach event. More than 10,000 people have signed up to complete 850 volunteer projects throughout the weekend. The projects range from landscaping and gardening to painting and cleaning, and they will even be throwing parties for a good cause. There will be a volunteer breakfast and kickoff party at the Pleasant Ridge Montessori at 7:30. Projects run from 9 until 1. It's not too late to take part in the OTR 5K. The registration opens this morning at 7:30, which means 5 minutes ago is your big opportunity. The run will take off at 9 this morning. The kids race starts at 10:30. And if you want to go to the summer celebration and the city flea, that runs from 10 until 4. The regular race costs $40 and the kids race costs $10. Holtman's Donuts will be handing out donut holes during the race, and Taste of Belgium will have waffles for you after you cross the finish line. And of course, this is all at Washington Park. Are you hungry? Because I'm hungry for sure. Trade tensions are loosening up between the U.S. and two of our allies. The new agreement between the United States, Canada, and Mexico.
And it's going to be gorgeous out there for that.
President Trump has announced new trade agreements with U.S. allies. The Trump administration says it will lift tariffs on steel and aluminum imported from Canada and Mexico. In return, the two countries agreed to stop tariffs that hurt U.S. farmers. Mexico's National Chamber of Iron and Steel released a statement calling the move a, quote, very positive step for industry in the entire region. President Trump says he hopes that this will pave the way for his NAFTA replacement.
So that deal is
the border.
The Trump administration hopes Congress will vote on the new trade deal with Canada and Mexico before leaving for their August recess. More than 2,000 Xavier University students will be receiving their diplomas today, a very exciting day for them. Nearly 1,200 undergraduate students will graduate at 9 a.m., and then more than 800 graduate students will be graduating at 3 p.m. Both ceremonies will be at the University Cintas Center and will be open to the public. So if you feel in the supporting mood, go ahead and support. But if you can't make it to the commencement, you can stream it live online at xavier.edu/commencement. A young girl proving that you don't have to wait to start your career. A new book that she wrote with her father and where you can get it signed coming up next. Hi there and welcome back. The weather out there very tropical, kind of like the weather that your parrot is used to. Steve has this wonderful parrot.
Yeah, I've had him 32 years, right? I mean, he's an Amazon parrot, a blue front Amazon, and they live to be 50 to 75 years old, so he's just getting middle age, right?
He talks to Steve a lot, and he's probably going to tell Steve, everybody's going to have a bad hair day because it's about to be humid.
He's like,
does he tell the weather too?
Cool it down. He doesn't say, I haven't taught him that yet.
Okay.
But, there's still time to learn,
Work
I guess,
on
right? Let's take a look outside we go. If you're going to head down to Great American Ballpark today, the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers, and we have the middle part of the week. Alexis.
Hey, thanks, Steve. A book that shows today's young people are tomorrow's leaders. It's called It Can Be Done, and it's written by a father and daughter duo. Joining me now this morning are Robert Hudson and Lauren Hudson. Hey, guys, how's it going?
We're great. Thank you for having us here.
I told them, I said, if my dad and I had to write a book together, I don't know how well that would go. So this is amazing. I love this. Both of you busy. I mean, you're a busy UK Wildcat. You are a busy attorney. Tell me a little bit about how you had time to write this book and what it's about.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit hard to find time, but I think and he writes instead of watching Netflix when he comes back from work.
That's good. So tell me a little bit about what we're gonna find in this book.
This book is based in part on some of our family experiences. My mom and dad and some of our other relatives.
That's awesome. Hard work is such an important thing. Cincinnati is such an entrepreneurial city. Speaking of hard work, you are 19 and you've already written multiple books. Sister friend, that is amazing. I know you're so proud. So how many books have you written?
4. So we've co-authored 2 books together, and then I have 2 books in a young adult science fiction fantasy series.
What makes this so different, right? Because I think that what's cool about your book is that you have so many different perspectives across generations. Really, a lot of people can get stuff from this book.
Yeah, I think the wonderful thing about the book is it's written predominantly by a teenager for middle schoolers and teenagers.
I love that. Encouragement is always good on a Saturday morning. Thank you all so much for joining us. And of course, you can get a copy of It Can Be Done, signed by Lauren and Robert. They will be at the Joseph Beth Crestview Hills today from 2 until 6. So you guys have a busy day today. Now here's a look at your morning sports.
Later in the day.
People from all over the country went to the Friday night game for the Reds just to eat hot dogs. Yep, that's what they did. This was one of the several qualifying rounds for the Nathan's hot dog eating contest in July. They had to scarf down as many hot dogs as possible within 10 minutes. That looks painful. In the end, Ronnie Hartman from Buffalo, New York, won with 29 hot dogs, but he better keep practicing because reigning champion Joey Chestnut ate 74 last year. After the break, a final check of the most accurate weather forecast out there. It is hot, it is humid, but it is going to be a beautiful day. Lots of stuff to do, and we are going to tell you exactly where you can go. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT. We continue to lead the way on an apartment fire in Fairfield. 18 units have been destroyed, dozens of people displaced from the villages of Wildwood. Officials tell us that someone left the building when they were cooking and returned to find the condo on fire. When water supply was lacking, extra tankers were brought in. One person was taken to the hospital for shortness of breath. The Red Cross set up a temporary shelter for those that need help. Thankfully, no one was hurt. 2 people are without a home this morning after a late night fire in North Fairmount. The call came in just after 11:30 for a fire on the front porch of a house on Baltimore Avenue near Brinkmeyer Avenue. When crews arrived, the fire spread to the house. Everyone made it out safely and the fire was put out quickly. Officials say that a grill left unattended caused the fire. Damage is estimated at about $15,000. The homeowners are staying with the family.